Yeah.
Don't you let them bully you around about your choice of clothing, okay?
Mate, we're going to start the goddamn show with that because, you know, there's a lot of negativity floating around on the East versus West card. Not necessarily all of which I buy into, but what I will say is this. Let no man or woman call an end to the fabulous shirt and belt combo. I mean, there's the belt. Look at that. Look at this. Look at it. You can't.
It's hiding just out of frame.
I haven't washed it in 4 months. You know, it smells.
You don't need to wash that. That's the beauty of it because nobody needs to wash that. That's the original filthy formal shirt. Yeah. Nobody can. You can't. Don't mess with that. That was hand woven by elves from the sweat of Danny Tesh.
No, honey badger semen.
Honey badger shirt. And there is no such, you know, you can't.
Like everyone who has a broken heart, I'll sit here and eat some ice cream, you know, so.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Work for Eddie Hall. Let me tell you. Once saw that man down 2 litres of ice cream. That memory will stay with me forever and ever and a day. 2 litres, and he ate the whole goddamn thing. That's amazing. I mean, it's good but bad. It's wrong but still very right.
Do we explain leaders to John and Ryan? Or?
Oh, no, I work in leaders. I'm good.
I'm
good. John Mark.
Probably intro the show, shouldn't I, really?
Probably.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fix. Show 107, mother fluffers. 107 episodes of The Fix. Have some of that in your life. Big news, lads. I'm quite pissed.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I've actually finished that, a bottle of wine has gone down. Now, for a guy who hardly drinks, not playing games, right?
I guess we're in for a treat.
But anything could happen. Anything could happen tonight.
Are we going to call you Potty Mouse Neil Pickup at the end?
No. Listen, everybody has a different drunk, right? If I get a little bit, and I'm not drunk, but if I get a little bit drunk,
tipsy,
apparently I am much nicer, according to everybody I know. You know, like people get aggressive and stuff. So I'm like the opposite. I'm like, that's me.
I think Ryan fights people. Ryan just like us. I should fight those guys there.
I'm such a peacemaker. I don't fight. Not at all.
We should all of us get, you know, how to say, nicer. So we should get in a room and start fighting. You know?
I actually believe that when Iron House comes, because it's an 8 days. Is it 8 days? No, it's longer than that. No, it's not. It's shorter than that. It's 7 days, isn't it? Surely. So, but 7 days, right? I had to see that. That's how drunk I was. I was like, yeah, it's lots of days. Surely there's an opportunity there to get lit at least one night. Let's say, for example, just if it's, you know, that no Australian wins or something like that.
Celebration.
Not a chance.
Well, we have to have piss wars at some point during the week.
Yeah, piss wars. Oh, I'm getting good though.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, I've done arm wars now 3 times. The first few attempts, I didn't even get close to them. Now I can, I can do arm wars.
You want to pull?
No, mate. I pissed it.
You can piss the word arm wars.
Piss the word arm wars at will. Okay. Well, not at will. You've got to go for it a bit. You know what I mean? You've got to drink a lot of water. But if I drink...
Is it in cursive writing or are you spaces between the letters? You cut it off.
No, I don't space it. You've got to continue the flow. The technique is you actually go over it more. Don't go out, go down. And you move. You keep moving.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'll show you.
We'll teach you. We'll teach you, Ray. Don't worry.
It's a Devon Laird thing.
Piss wars.
Yeah.
But I've done arm wars 3 times now. Which that's pretty impressive, isn't it? I mean, I suppose we should talk about arm wrestling too. So, guys, I'm going to start the show off with a little bit of bad news. Want to get that out of the way, but it is really bad news. So, Adam Vandal, everybody in the chat, if you don't know Adam Vandal, in fact, Pay some respect here, for Christ's sake. Adam Vandal, Western Survivors own Adam Vandal. And let me tell you, Adam Vandal is the dude. This is a warrior. He's an absolute dude. Adam sent me over a ton of this. You know how you like get some people in the sport and they'll just be a company or something like that, but they're not really into arm wrestling. That ain't Adam Vandal. Adam Vandal friggin' loves it. And he throws himself in heart and soul. He has sent me matches over where, and I'm not talking one, a number of matches where he's been in screaming, absolute Ray-esque super battles, you know? And I've been watching those matches thinking, holy, this is not good. Something's going to go. Turns out yesterday it did. Blew his bicep tendon off the bone.
Oh, no.
Hey.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that blows, and not in a good way. So a little bit, well, not a little bit, gutted about that because he's a really good dude. And it is a serious injury. Lad's an absolute warrior. So I don't think, I mean, I was on, you know, he's been messaging me tonight. Typical Adam. Great spirits. Gonna see the surgeon on Friday, get it reattached, but hopefully it comes back stronger. He's got no intention whatsoever of stopping arm wrestling, just waiting to get back in the mix as soon as he possibly can. But Adam Vandal, of the Fix fame, Western Survivors own, we love you, dude, and hope that your arm gets reattached bigger, better, stronger, and you come back and continue to kick some ass. From myself and everybody involved with the Fix, and from everybody that watches this show, you're an integral part of stuff, mate. Western Survivor rocks. Good job on taking it on the chin like a frigging champ. Your messages tonight just spoke volumes about who you are, mate. The fact that you've just rolled on and you've taken it as part of the game. I hope you come back stronger. I hope you get surgery quickly and that you're back kicking ass soon on the table. All the very best to you, Adam. Guys, Western Survivor, get over there. Check this stuff out. It genuinely is the best beef jerky in the world. Adam may have died. But oh no, Western Survivor beef jerky will power him through. Get over there. www.westernsurvivor.ca. You too wouldn't give up if you break your arm. Now, massive weekend of arm wrestling, lads. Huge one. I suppose we got to, I mean, I don't want to put a downer on things. We've got to probably address the white elephant in the room quite early. Hard to watch.
It was perfect for me, with the exception of the mask. It really, for me, it was perfect. So I know I watched on my computer via a browser. It was only the Matt Mask Prudnik match that died. I straight away, as soon as that happened, because everyone in my chat that I had at the time was blowing up saying streams down. I messaged the Core Sports CEO, and he said, "Yep, we're onto it. We're going to pause after this match and fix it." So it was good that they were aware of it and they knew to not continue with any other matches. And I messaged Coach Ray, said, "Dude, what happened? What happened at the end of that match? Give us the inside scoop." And Matt, and I said, "Who won round 3?" And Ray said, "Matt Mask." And I was losing it. I'm thinking, shit, Matt Mask is making a comeback. No, then he says, no, it was over. And then he said, no, he just won that round on fouls. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
man.
I didn't see any of the matches up to MT and Rivas. And I was actually on bemoaning my terrible evening with Jake and John. And suddenly, bam, in it kicked. And I got the matches from that point on. But prior to that, didn't see a match, mate. Still haven't seen Paul Linn. Still haven't seen Marcio.
Were you watching on a browser on a PC or on a mobile?
On a PC. I tried on my mobile when my PC wasn't working, but I was on a PC using Chrome. I tried Safari, tried Chrome, tried everything. Couldn't get it. Yeah, I was sick as a pig, really. And I was refreshing. Cracked up my phone, tried to get it on there, couldn't get it. I was gutted. Because when I did get it, stream was ace. Good, good camera angles, nice tight work, excellent. I mean, it's $10.99. It's not, it's not the end of the flaming world, is it? The matches that I saw, I paid $10.99 for. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, we had a similar issue. Jake and I had almost the exact same experience. We started having problems during the end of Paul Linn and Samushia. Marcio and Tobias was getting worse, and then it all fell apart for Mask and Prudnik. But then after that, it was good for the rest of
Now I hear that those two matches in particular, David and Paul and Tobias Marcio, were bangers, weren't they?
Yeah, Rivas.
Tobias and Marcio was one of the best technical matches I've ever seen. Switching up between the round, it was awesome. Just craziness. And both of them.
Are we going to get to see them? And you know what, they're going to release them? Or...
I think you can go and look at the replay right now. It's there. But
all right, so we can go and see the replay if you, as long as you're logged in and you pay for it.
Going to post it a little bit later. All the matches as well. I think Engin's got it just for that. You know, and you know, I think it's more on core sports because there was internet problems, like huge. Like I received so many messages, but for some the stream was good. They said like only Matt Mask and Prudnik, I guess that's the only one. Like I didn't know how it was because I was sitting there looking at the screen. For me, it was perfect. And yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm just like I feel so bad for Engin because he put his soul and heart into this and his own money to make this happen. And you know, people are justified to say the things that they're saying online, you know, and I'm just, and he even made like a post. He's like, maybe no more East versus West.
Gotta be honest, it'd be a great shame if that's the case.
Yeah, it would be.
Great shame. I mean, mega card, stacked card, awesome. I was genuinely like excited. We didn't do Arm Wars, for Christ's sake. That's how excited I was. I was genuinely like, I was thinking about it. I was talking to James. I was like, oh God, you know, we're going out on Friday night. I feel quite bad. Because obviously there's the presser going down for East versus West, and so many times in arm wrestling, you know, obviously we're only a small sport, and when you've got somebody who's gone balls out on an amazing card and it's rammed full of monsters, part of me was thinking, well, if it was me and somebody was, because I'm going to try and promote Arm Wars and I want everybody to watch Arm Wars, you know. And then I thought to myself, but if somebody was doing that and I'd put this amazing card on, I'd think, oh, you know, can you not like back off it and just watch East versus West? And I thought, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna step it down. We're not gonna do it tonight. Let's
James
we'll come back.
A lazy B, you know, that's all that was. You can tell the truth.
Yeah.
It was just like, you're like, hey James, we put out the video, and Jason's like, you know, I don't feel like it, you know.
Yeah,
that's
be bothered.
I feel, yeah.
Probably what happened. Really,
exactly what happened.
Yeah. So I just felt like it was a good time to step it down, come back, and don't be, you know, there's a little bit of selfishness in that as well, because obviously we want all eyes to be on Arm Wars where possible. Just back to the matter, we do.
It's me arm wrestling, of course.
Coach Ray, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really wanted to maximize views, we'd have him in the Honey Badger Spunk shirt and combo. But we didn't, you know, we've not done that. We've not unleashed that on your ass.
Imagine if I make that a t-shirt.
That should be a shirt, to be honest.
A t-shirt. And
I mean, how many Honey Badgers is there? Because, you know, we got to get, you need to start wanking some Honey Badgers, son, right, like quick, because I don't know how much it takes per shirt, but it's got to be a lot. So, you know, and you can do that because they're vicious little, as far as I'm aware. You know, Ryan could probably do it with the Brisbane 8. Some of them lads in.
You can do anything with the Brisbane 8.
Yeah, you can throw off an honey badger with a. Hey lads, fancy tossing that honey badger off? Because we need some shirts made.
It's James.
Oh, he'll be in on in a minute saying, "Get me that link sent, you strokers." But yeah, so we'll start with East versus West, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, first match, Big Derek. I saw what I believe was the first pin of that match, and I'm a massive Derek Smith fan. Good dude. Oh, I felt bad for him.
I put a lot of heart. I put a lot of my heart into that match, and it was fairly heartbreaking. But you know, if you look at it from Derek's perspective, his rise has been quite fast. quite quick. He takes the win from Tim, and it's like, boom, we're going to get what we can out of this. We're rocketing to the sky. Takes this match, very short notice. But, you know, I think for Derek, it's now at least he knows where the ceiling is, and he can start to work from there at the very least.
No, I didn't see sorry, Ryan, go, mate. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Derek to me looked like he was in a real tough position mentally as well. First match, I didn't see any fire from him anywhere. He looked like a very sheepish version of Derek. We've seen the fired up Derek, and he didn't find that headspace prior to the match beginning.
For my purposes, Ryan, was there any stops in there, or was it just like the one I saw where?
No.
Look, I wouldn't call it a stop. Round 3, he got into a hook, but it was so far. The hook was so far on Morozov's side of the table that Morozov it could do anything he want with him, and Derek was so open and exposed. So I don't think Morozov arm wrestled amazingly well. He looked rock solid. He looked like he trusted his lane. He was looking at the referee, just say go. Derek looked like he was uncertain of himself, which direction he was going to go off the go. He didn't trust his setups. There was no aggression, and he got flashed twice and then toyed with in a hook.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Derek did great commentary. We had really good commentary. I loved it, and I think if we can do it again, he just needs to lose. He just needs to start the competition with a loss, and then I make fun of him, and people are happy. So.
Yeah. So happiness comes out of sadness. It's like a sacrifice thing. He loses. He's sad,
you never just go up. You have to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's better that him coming down, not
rather
me.
than you. You don't want to come down.
No. Why would I? I just.
No. I mean, on the other side of that. On the other side of that conversation, we do have to say for Morozov, like he had an incredible match. He looked incredible against Matt Mask on the left as well, right? So how good is Morozov right now is maybe another good question.
Yeah, Morozov's a frigging beast. I mean, we were talking the other day. I had Dev on the show, and we were going through stuff, and we always bet on matches. And he was saying, what do you think? How do you see Derek and Morozov? And I said, oh, very tough. I said, for me, huge opportunity for Derek to really announce himself on the world stage, and don't take anything away from what he did with Tim. You know, Tim's solid, good stuff, but not like this. For me, I thought if he smashes Steel Morozov up, that's a hell of a win. Didn't go down like that, but at the time, Devon said, you know what, I think he's going to run over Morozov. I think he's going to run him over, and I was very skeptical about that because I've seen Morozov get results with the likes of Zaranov, who is an absolute savage. You know, you do anything with him, you're a bad man. He gets his ass handed to him by, and there's two things that come out of this, actually, because it's that perspective thing that myself and John were talking about on Arm Wars, but he gets his ass handed to him by Prudnik, who, in my opinion, is genuinely the best in the world at that weight class, right-handed. And Tobias Sprong is much worse than people think. Clearly, bad man. You know, so perspectives can change. I genuinely believe that Morozov is right in the mix. I think he's a very, very serious opponent for a lot of people. What yesterday did achieve, and as we go through the matches, we'll see that, is it just sort of left a lot of questions again, underlining the fact that styles make matches and styles make matches. And you can never get away from that fact. Let's knock over a couple of super chats because a few of them just starting to sit up and beg. So the Juji Mugu's coming in. He's put combo of a Neil, Uncle John, and Aussie commentary was epic. Bowen was good too, but his co-host was boring. Don't know who that was. Can't even comment. Someone please buy Coach a new dotted shirt. Mate, the shirt will live forever. It's like the Golden Fleet. Who was your commentary partner, Ryan?
Matt Connolly, a guy from South Australia. He's a good dude.
Yeah,
I called him. We just chatted in between. We had a great time. We had a bunch of people in there, so it was awesome.
Lovely darts. Yeah, Matt's a good lad. Jujimugu, again, he's put Monster on live stream, mad at Bowen for his ranking.
Where'd you rank him?
Out of the top 10, I just didn't rank him. I just put him out of the top 10. Look, obviously, I think we'll get that's a big talking point in itself when we get to the match. But yeah,
Mike was around. Michael, if you're in the chat and you're around, get your ass on here, son. Come on here, Monster Mike. So let me know, Mike, if you message me, mate. If you want to come on, we'll send you the link.
Amsterdam getting really high right now, so
don't worry. Okay. Don't worry about it, Mike. So, Big Grove Goats, did you guys see Engin said he's most likely done? We did, mate. We were just talking about that a moment ago. I really hope that is not the case because I say the card itself, look at it this way. Take away the live stream thing. The card itself was rock strong and actually delivered from what
5-5.
There you go. East versus West, and you get 5-5. And apparently a number of the matches that I didn't see were bangers, and some of the ones that I did see were bangers. So what do you want? You know, it's just a shame that the live stream went down. Does make me think that it's the right decision for the Arm Wars card when we do this to not be fully live, to get it recorded, upload it, and then people can see that at quality. Because if anybody, you know, for our members, for our channel members who are going to be able to see that live, I want them to get the experience. I want them to get spot on. No mucking about, no buffering, no, you know, you get to see it and you get to see it solid. So Juju Mugu, who's really going for it, thanks, mate. He's put, I'd like to petition for Neil, Bowen, Uncle John, and the next king of the table on East versus West, with Coach Ray as the MC in his too tight polka dot kids shirt. Could happen, mate. You never do know what can happen. I think
the contract.
Apart from the fact Ryan's actually arm wrestling on it, aren't you, mate? Next king of the
table.
Mm-hmm.
Not confirmed yet, but maybe we'll see.
Yeah, I was under the impression. I don't know where I got that from, but I was under the impression you were pulling there. So,
oh, it's a possibility.
4 or 5.
Four, possibly.
Don't know who against.
Can't say anything.
Can't say. Could tell you, but I have to kill you. Excellent elbow with a super chat. He's put, what is side pressure? Internal rotation, down pressure, elbow, locking your body, going on the biceps. Is it still pulling? Ow.
Yeah, I'd like to answer this one. Side pressure. I mean, look at Todd Hutchings. It's very interesting. Like side pressure, you do need to be strong. You need to have muscular strength throughout your pec, your shoulder, your forearm. Everything needs to be strong in all the fundamental senses. But for me, what side pressure is, I liken it down to connective tissue and your integrity in your elbow. And what happens when you attempt to go sideways, regardless of whether you're pronated, supinated, you got your shoulder forward or your shoulder back. You think about what happens when you back off. When you go sideways and you back off, the reason you back off is not usually because your muscles aren't strong enough. It's because your brain sends you a signal saying some shit is going to blow up if you keep on going. If you keep persisting down this path, your shit's going to snap. And it's usually in the elbow that you get that sensation. Your brain will send you signals. Your connective tissue in your elbow is sending you warning signals of impending injury. The more conditioned your elbow is, the later that signal arrives. Someone like Todd Hutchings, he's best in sport in that regard. It takes a lot to send those pain signals, those warning signals to Todd Hutchins' brain because he's conditioned his elbow so rock solid. So I believe side pressure, the most critical thing to side pressure is elbow conditioning.
See, let's just be specific here. Side pressure in what angle? You've got 3 very, very clearly identifiable lanes of side, and we can break these down in a moment. But effectively, let's categorize them simplistically as side with forward, side directly sideways, side with back and pronation. Todd Hutchings is often misunderstood, but there is a huge amount of pronator and a huge amount of back pressure in that, and that's what really screwed up Irakli yesterday. Now, if you're looking at best in class side with forward pressure, you're going Jerry Caderet all day, because that is Jerry Caderet. If you go inside, brutal sideways, I would say Sasho Andreev is the best in the world at that, because Sasho, he's not using much back pressure in there a lot of the time. He's your owl. He's your dude that's just turning his palm flat up a lot of the time and just, he doesn't give a shit. Doesn't do all that all the time, but has the ability to do that and does it with genuinely reckless abandon. You know, he's got massive confidence in his, as you describe it, the structural integrity. Well, very few men have got structural integrity that surpasses him. He is unbelievable in that respect, you know. So I think with a lot of people, when they back off the side, is, as you say, potentially down to something's going to let go, but also in the better arm wrestlers, it's not just that something's going to let go. It could also be that something isn't going to work from a technical perspective. And we saw a really clear example of that yesterday with Hutchings, because I can't remember what round it is. John probably remembers, maybe in the second round, Irakli went on a counter and timed it perfectly. I actually think Todd got away with one. I think his elbow came up. But what you did see was Todd react instantly. And it wasn't because he thought something was going to let go or break. It was because if he hadn't have done, he was going to lose that arm wrestling match. And he reacted, jumped back up because his hand and wrist had been sacrificed. He was applying all that back. He was pronating and he was moving very hard to the side. And Irakli dragged him right out of there for a moment. Was a little bit shocked by the fact he'd done it. And then we saw that rebalancing. And when it sat up, Todd, yes, exactly like Ray's showing. And when it sat up, Todd readjusted and changed the application of side. So you saw two examples of it there, which were really clear. And then a third one on the next start where Irakli was loading up to blast sideways harder to sort of tuck under, hit off his pec and go much more in a rotation. And as soon as he did that, Todd felt, all right, we know where you're going there, and just jumped on his ass, completely smacked him, basketball pin, just, you know. So I really do respect Todd's ability to adapt his arm wrestling. And I think a lot of people have always thought that he was just this brutal, you know, caveman style. And he is so far from that. So far from that. He's extremely technically efficient. I was impressed with the guy. I thought he was friggin' awesome. But let's knock over these other super chats that we've just got in. And, there's some nasty ones here, Ryan. If you want to wade in on some of these, mate, you are more than welcome, or anybody else for that matter. So here we go. First one's just a nice one. Carl Granner, thanks for your super chat, mates. But Tobias was crazy strong. Love for Engin. Tobias was very impressive, wasn't he?
Incredibly entertaining puller. I was super entertained in both his matches.
And young. Going to get so much better, you know. Juju Mugu, but it sucks to keep syncing commentary with the stream. Yeah, I can imagine that. I hadn't even thought about that, you know.
Yeah. It's something that, you know, we'll probably figure out eventually, but not today and not tomorrow.
Right, anybody who wants to take this on, you're very welcome. Okay, I'm just going to say that before we start. And this is from Karaoke Vic. And if we do all get killed for this, Karaoke Vic, I'd like to say thank you very much for considering that. And he's put, what are your thoughts on Engin injecting himself in the refereeing?
Could you hear what was said when Engin was up there talking with Michael, Ray? Could you hear what they were talking about?
No, I couldn't figure out. I thought that he said Michael, that he was in a King's move for a second or something like that, and they didn't call something. From the angles that we saw, for me it looked normal. There was no problem with it, you know, deep King's move or anything. Michael was fighting to lift his shoulder up all the time, and I didn't see it. You know, I don't know what that was, to be honest.
I didn't hear anything that Engin said because I had the commentary muted as I was commentating, and so I didn't hear specifically what was said. But I saw a lot of feedback on it. Look, at the end of the day, the referees didn't call it, so it's all good. So Michael was in his own rights to go to the positions he did. I think if you went through it with a fine-tooth comb and a slow-mo camera, you could probably find moments where you're like, oh, that's questionable, but that's sport, isn't it? You got to let those things roll. As for Engin injecting himself into the refereeing, look, it's always promoters are always going to oversee everything that's going on in an event, and if they're paying the refs and they're organizing the rules and they've set the rules, they've told the referees what the rules are. If they're seeing something that's not being enforced, I think it's fair for them to speak to the referees. I don't think they should be speaking necessarily straight to the athlete, but quiet word to the referees is fine in my eyes as well. If you're the one saying, hang on, why, if you think they missed something, fair enough, but I don't know.
It's a very difficult one, isn't it? Very, very difficult one. I mean, I've been in that position so many times, and it's really, really, really hard. I mean, what I'd do if I was in that situation, I won't influence the referees on it. I'd just say, look, remember, guys, if I think there's something, I'll just go, remember, guys. You could actually hear it on one of the ARMWRESTLING shows. Remember, there's a load of cameras here. If you want to use them, just, you know, you might want to use them, maybe check.
I don't know. I don't know if it's in the ARMWRESTLING archives, but Neil, I'm certain I've seen you. I don't know. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I feel like I've seen you. I'm not actually on camera, but I've heard your voice say, "No, that was a runner. You missed the runner. He's on a runner. Go again."
I'll say, no, I'd never tell him to go again ever. I would not do that. Never. What I would say is, you may want to check the cameras. Or you maybe you want to check the cameras. And in a way, I'm doing that for the refs. If there's downtime, and I'm absolutely certain that they haven't spotted something, I'll just say to them, maybe you should just have a look at those cameras that you're allowed to use. And
Love it.
Part of the show, and we'll be showing in the film, because I mean the biggest one was Froda and Stoiker, and I literally walked up to the table and said, guys, just gonna say we have a lot of cameras here. Maybe something got missed there. You might want to check those cameras. And Froda said, oh, let's just do it again. And then he lost the restart. But the fact of the matter is, in my mind, Froda had won at that point in time. So I was telling him to check the cameras. He didn't go there, and that was that. But
speaking of replay, Ray, was there any talk of replay? Was there any even inkling of replay, or was it not even a question? Because like we didn't see any replay, but were they even able to use replay if they needed to?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. In the middle of it, I'm like, oh, we're not seeing replays, and they said they were not ready for this event or something like that. I don't know what was the problem there.
I mean, it's not an easy thing to facilitate if you're not set for it.
No, you have the director turns back. Yeah.
It's not easy. But at the Trafford Centre, it used to be amazing for the show. We had a particular instance with Monster Michael Todd and Yoshinobu Kanai. And Yoshi thought he'd won the match. He was absolutely adamant. He's like, no, that was a pin. And Mike's like, his elbow came off the pad as he pinned me. It definitely came off. And Yoshi was completely adamant. No, it did not come off. That was clean. And we then, look, square in the air. So referee gives us signal, square in the air. We go to the square in the air, which we had set up anyway. So it's part of the show. And it was dramatic because Yoshi and Mike both walk around the table, go to the front of the stage, and both look up at the big screen. And suddenly you see all 5 angles come up with it. You see, and you could hear all the people in Trafford Centre go, oh, because clearly his elbow came off. And it was great because Yoshi just went, okay, no contestation anymore, is there? There you go. Yeah, my elbow did come off. Let's go again. And all the Trafford Centre clapped, and up they went. And Mike won the restart in an unbelievable match as well. It was a stupid match. So, yeah, it can add to the drama. But if you've got the facility and you're utilising those cameras, I think that's exactly what it does do. It's like, in a lot of major sports now, we're seeing that. We're seeing people using that more and more. And if you do it in the right way, it can be a really good thing. Oh, my God. Are you ready?
Oh,
gentlemen, welcome to The Fix.
Engin.
The enigma of E-Rage in the motherfucking house. Now then, Engin, you sexy old man. You look tired, mate. Look like you put it on the line last night. Congratulations on a banger, though, mate. That was a hell of a show.
Awesome.
Hell of a show. Can you hear us or not?
Yeah, I hear you.
Good stuff. Yeah, cracking event, mate, yesterday. Well done.
That guy that I wanted to say that Marcus Thompson is just saying, like, take it something like a man.
Just
a
a
man,
moment.
just because you have some money and donating some money, you can question my manhood. Try to do that to my face if you ever see me.
You're ahead with me, mate. Wait a minute. Let me find out what you're talking about. Wait, whoa.
Also, someone else also said that, I argue with John. Like, first, understand what was happening there. I wasn't arguing with John. I was trying to help John. I told the referees twice to reconsider their decision. And the idiot writes there that I was arguing with John. I was helping,
Right,
trying
Engin?
to help the John. Just
Oh.
1 second. I will just
No,
say 2 minutes and I will leave
we
there.
haven't seen the comment though, mate. Wait a minute. Just so we can clarify for people what you're talking about, because I haven't read the comment yet. So just bear with me uno momento. And let me find the comment that you're talking about so we understand what it is. So you were saying what? It's Marcus Thompson. Okay, Marcus, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, oh, it's a massive super chat as well. Typical Marcus. Thank you for that, mate. He's put 107 reasons to super chat, but we will be here all day, boys. East versus West was great, minus the usual arm wrestling poor streams. Due diligence needs to be done on these events. Engin, great job. But if give the banter out, got to take it like a man. Let it fly off your shoulder, mate. Yeah, I think he's taking the piss, Engin, there, to be honest, brother. He's definitely bantering. He's even put a laughy face in, dude.
Anyways, I just want to know. I will just say a few things and I will leave it. The other thing, I didn't argue with John. I was just trying to, the rules, between the 2 elbow pads, you can ask to this Leonard Harkless, who's the best referee in the world. If you pin the guy to the center, that is not pin. And before the matches, just go watch the rules. We explain clearly that your pin needs to be to your side of the pad.
Well,
John was there too.
That's just the rules of arm wrestling generally.
Yes. But just, because, okay, so I explained to John. Then, but Zurab's elbow was out. And then I said, Zurab's elbow was out. I talked with the referees. See, listen, I'm not an organizer. I'm not an announcer either. We are trying to set something. We are making the rules. And the referees are also new to the rules. So there was also misunderstanding with Michael too that I will explain. So I said to the referees.
Oh, one moment. We lost you, Engin.
Engin.
Oh,
The referees, and then this guy on the chat, he says that I was arguing with John while I was trying to, but the referee didn't accept. So I didn't have influence on I asked them to reconsider. They said, no, we are sure. They said that John pushed Zurab's elbow out while to me, it was not pushing, but he was just like, where are you going? It was just pressing down, but okay, whatever. And about the Michael thing, guys, I understand that some people can express themselves in English.
What was the discussion, Engin? Just so people do know, because it's fine. There's a lot of, it's fine, but supposition. We weren't there. I certainly couldn't hear.
You're talking about John thing or the Michael thing?
Mike thing. Well, both.
Yeah, Michael thing is that there was a misunderstanding. When I was explaining the rules, I said like your shoulder, your humerus bone. If it is down angle, look at the Neil, please. If it is down angle like this, it's a foul. And then Michael said that, what if your shoulder is this side? And then I thought that he meant like, when somebody is winning. I said, no, that's not a foul. It is only when you are in neutral and losing.
If he was in the A side, i.e. his arm was in the A side and his shoulder was on the A side, then he was asking for clarification on that. Okay.
Yeah, let me put this to the charger here. I think there's a charger I saw.
Okay,
it's only 5%. So, okay.
Just while you're doing that, Engin, while you're putting it on charge, we've got another comment in here from Serginio. Mate, thanks for your super chat. Let's just, and just as I say that, the swine went off my screen. Oh, here we go. People can back off blaming Engin. I think you'll like this, mate. So, Serginio, thanks for your super chat. He's put, people can back off blaming Engin. He's the biggest asset to the sport and loves it. I live 20 miles from you, Neil, and the stream was ace, apart from the mask match. Appreciate the amazing card, Engin. Onwards and upwards, please.
God, Neil, I'm not like asking. There are like 90% of the people are saying positive things, but I need to explain something. It's not about I want to hear something nice or something. It's not about that. I will just explain what happened. When I said that to like humerus bone needs to be like not down angle. And then Michael said, what if your shoulder is in this side? So I thought that he meant when the guy is winning. But what I realized that later, he meant that when shoulder was in winning side, but his arm is still in the losing position. And he said that he told me that, Engin, you said on the rules when we were explaining, he told me that if your shoulder is in this side, and then he said that, your humerus, you are not on your humerus, so you can be like this. And then I said, no, Michael, I think we misunderstood. When you said that your shoulder is this side, I thought that you're talking about winning position. But what he was asking me during the rule meeting, he was saying that if shoulder is this side, and if even the arm is in a losing position, so it can happen. This is what he was saying. So we misunderstood each other. So I didn't argue with Michael. I was just explaining. And the Michael match, it was not called.
No.
I mean, I didn't change the decision.
I don't think there was any issue with the Michael match, as far as I can see.
Yeah, that round Michael won, and there was no change. There was no asking, about like the decision needs to be changed. I was only explaining to Michael that what he thought and what I explained were different things. Right after the event, of course, Michael thinks differently. I think differently, but we just sat down. I mean, and then we just talk, chat. Rebecca, and people are just talking. We already were talking about Alex Kurdesha should be his next match, because first round how he handled Rivas, he just look at his face, and it was Rivas' best game, outside. Michael just look at his face. I was like, what the hell, what's going on, how strong. But Rivas is so tall and his reach is so far. So he didn't leave any room to Michael with the shoulder pressure, which we never expected. But I and Michael were thinking that we didn't think that Alex can pull in that position. Alex only way is to go out, and then Michael against Rivas' outside move, he just hold. Like, can you imagine? It's like round one, like Rivas was asking him, okay, pin me, don't hold me anymore. And we were like, wow, that's over, because if this is the round one, while we know that Rivas is not known with the endurance and Michael is known with the endurance, you can call me it's not professional or something about talking with Michael, but saying that I had bad intention, it is full of shit. You understand? We were just like two friends talking there. You understand? And then when I went to the table, this time directly really asked to referees. I wasn't arguing with John. I was just trying to explain the rule, but I was asking them to repeat the match because John was also upset, very upset. He said, I'm out of here. This is what he said. I said, John, I tried twice to repeat the match. They both referees said that I'm not gonna jump there and just like, you're gonna do it, or just put the referee short and do it. I just talk with the referees. And then, but whenever I defend an American like this, everything is okay. Nobody is saying that why you do that to the Zurab. But whenever I talk with Michael, Engin is against the Americans, that shit, that makes me throw up, and that's why I'm not gonna organize this anymore. You understand? It's enough. No. I have enough headache. I don't do this to take all that shit from those extremist guys. It's enough. You can talk in a nice way. I tell everyone about streaming too. If you have problems, I understand and I apologize. It's my fault. But
no, it's not. I mean, a minute ago, Serginho said he lives just down the road from me, and his internet was fine.
This is the part that I don't understand, Neil.
The stream can be a number of things. When we first came on, I said I only saw 4 matches, and to be honest, the 4 that I saw, I'd have paid $10.99 for those. It was mega. Honestly, it would. Obviously, at the time, you're frustrated and you're really pissed off. It's good.
Neil, let's all of you are knowledgeable people. Just like I'm ignorant about this. How it is possible that someone 20 miles away from you is watching this without problem, except the mask match, and then you cannot watch it.
20 miles. You don't even know where I live. It's one of those things. Irrelevant, really.
What?
I don't know whether he lives 20 miles from me or not, but the point he's making is...
No, but many people from America says that they watch without problem. I talked with Ryan, he said that except that match he watched. So how is it that, someone from New York is watching without problems and another one from New York is not watching? I'm not blaming anyone. That part I don't understand. But when I talked with the court sports, they said, except the mask match after round 2, there was some problem. But before and after, they said, especially after, it was great. But the first time I talked with the Turkish guy that is doing documentary about this filming, still broadcasting was by Court Sports. Second time I asked them, they came directly from Dubai, the Court Sports, people, they came. I said, I saved some money for the satellite car, let's use it. They still used it, the hotel internet, because they thought it was good, because on the testing, everything is perfect. So, I'm just thinking,
whatever the situation was with the stream, I genuinely don't think, I think it would be a real shame if you were to go to a knee-jerk reaction of not doing the event again, because from what I could see, the event was actually a massive success. I mean, look, if we were talking a moment ago, and I said to Ray, "Can we go and watch this again now? Is it up?" And if you paid $10.99 for it and you get to watch it again tonight or tomorrow, is it really that bad? In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's that bad. For me, it's not. I'll go and watch it, and I'll be, as long as I see the matches.
Neil, I will say
we have not seen that good of a card ever. 3-2s, wars, technical adjustments.
Like, first of all, bring in like 13 matches there. Second of all of them are elite level pullers.
Elite.
Third of all, you can bring all the elite guys, but if the matchups are not good, it will be boring. But those matches, when Paul Linn and Samusha pulling, Paul Linn winning 1-0, and then Samusha coming back 2-1, and I was like, okay, I think it's over. And then Paul Linn coming back in 3-2, and then Davis dominating, and I like nothing. And I was like, what a mismatch.
Where can they see it now? Can they go and see like a replay?
They can go to course replay, and then they can watch it. They can watch it. But yeah. But what I'm just saying that look at those like look at Tobias Sporon versus Marcio Barboza. People said that it was a huge mismatch. John Bursing versus Zurab. Trust me, it wasn't. John won, but really he really pushed his limits, especially the last round and the 2 rounds that he won. He perfectly pulled, perfectly. It was just right between pronator and supinator sideways. If he would pronate a little bit more, Zurab would have his pronator. And then it would be a hard match with the dead wrist. But John went so perfectly.
At the beginning of the stream, Engin, obviously the title of the event is East versus West, and it finished 5-5, did it?
5-5.
5-5. You can't beat that, can you, really? It's pretty bloody good. If you're going for an East versus West card and it finishes 5-5.
This is why you need to do the 4th one.
But
the last 4 matches, and as I understand it, I didn't see the 2 good ones. So it was clearly a bloody good card. So for me, mate, I don't think you should get upset too much about it.
No, I'm not. I apologize, everyone, even who had like 10 seconds lagging problem. But disrespect, personal attack. From now on, I will do it right back. Right back. I mean, because nobody has right to do that. Okay, they can't do that just because they are not giving me favors. Nobody, it's not my business.
To be honest,
I'm
mate,
telling you, any moment I can stop. I'm just sometimes thinking, when this is not organized, what am I losing? What am I losing? Every match, I could make this seven matches.
I'll tell you what you're losing, mate.
Let me finish.
What you're losing is something you love. That's what you're losing, Engin. Don't kid the kid, kiddie. We both know you'd be like I would if you didn't know those cards. You'd be sick as a pig. What are we going to talk about when we meet up in a hotel? Come on, Engin.
Neil, trust me. Like with 3 hours sleep every day, everything. I don't have organization. I'm trying to do everything. You understand? Here,
Marcus Thompson, if it makes you feel any better, only sleeps for about an hour a month.
No, what I'm just saying that just some people I sometimes say it's not worth. You understand? Because if like that, let's not do it. But still, it's good that we did 3 events. Like people will remember.
I'm just going to interrupt you just to piss off this guy. Lankin and Lanko or Lankin and Lacko. Cough. Carry on.
Okay, probably he wrote something offensive, but anyways, this type of people I'm talking about, Neil. This type of people, just because they think that they pay $10.50, they of course, but they can't disrespect. You understand? Once they disrespect, so I go away now. I go away. Let them be happy. Let them do it. So let them be happy. Engin is away, so now you're happy. Now find someone else to hate and attack. Yeah, because that's your nature. You can't live without hating. You can't live without spreading shit from your mouth. That's you. Yeah. So I'm away. Just find someone now. You can do to Ryan. You can go to someone else. Just because you have those kind of feelings, you need to satisfy yourself. You need to find someone to hate. You understand? Let them do it. So enough for me. I thank everyone who supported. Is still thanking. I love them. Thank you very much. If I do that, I will just make an announcement. I will just say, whoever disrespected and did this, please do not buy this pay-per-view. Please do not buy this pay-per-view. And whenever I post something on internet, please do not watch. If you have an honor, don't watch. Don't come to my page and watch. I block you. Don't watch it. You don't like me, you hate me, just ignore it. Ignore the East versus West. If I do again, ignore the videos that I'm posting. Just either respect, you may not like it. You can also complain, you can also criticize, that's fine. But the respect, then go away. If you have a little bit honor, from now on, ignore me. That's good. So I go away, I better go sleep. Love you guys.
Don't go away yet, Engin. There's one question that you need to answer. When's the next one?
Yeah, you don't let us stop.
I know.
You don't let us stop now, Engin. Don't let us stop now.
I mean, you know what, Neil? I had so good plans. Neil, I had so good plans. I wanted to do Dave Chappie versus like Morozov. You understand?
Do
like,
it. Listen, Engin. Engin.
Like, I asked Pauline, like great guy. Dave Chappie. I mean, I didn't know him this well. What a great gentleman he is, you know. His wife together. Yeah. He's just a great guy. Yeah. Matt Mass, crazy man. I love him. That guy is just, I mean, every 2 out of 3 words that he's spoken is fuck, but still, you know, I love him. You know, the guy is just like, and the Prudnik said the cold face just drove him even more crazy that he's doing his things, you know, with a cold face, and it just drove Matt, you know, crazy.
Engin, take all the emotion out of it a minute, okay? And I know you're tired and you're wound up and all of that. It's normal. You've just run an event. Your emotions are high. I know you read the comments. I know you internalize them. Try not to, mate. I know that's difficult, but the situation is as simple as this. If you focus and boil down what you tried to achieve, you love to put on great arm wrestling matches, utilizing your experience, which is extensive as anyone, and you clearly achieved that and demonstrated it. The card was ace. The matches were excellent. You got a really, really entertaining event off. Sometimes there are going to be events with the stream. Sure, I know that didn't go well. It hit me full in the dick, but it's not the end of the world. Now, those things can be ironed out. Ultimately, the card was a fantastic success. So for me, I just think there's a lot of ways around that. Even the way that I spoke about earlier on, where maybe you film it and then put it out the day after or something on a pay-per-view. Would that be so terrible? I don't think it would.
But the results will be leaked out, you know, and then people wouldn't enjoy it.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to be leaked out. I mean, you don't.
I think it would. Yeah, it would. I will just bring the bed to the venue and lock the rooms, and then take all the cell phones away. Then we can.
I think a lot of people are invested in the furtherment of the sport. I think you might be surprised. And
what do you think about Pop? You know, after the match with Zurab, John said that Zurab can give a good match to Hutchings. He said.
I heard that.
Yeah. Do you realize that, you know, whenever John tried to finish him with the shoulder pressure, a few times he tried, John was crazy. John was winning him with the side way by like controlling the arm and hand at the same time. And then I thought that he was going to do that. And then he was like, oh, watch this. You know, he came to the corner, and the guy is just 58 years old, but his spirit is just like younger than us, crazier than ours. You know, he's just doing, after the event, I saw him, he was so sad. I was like, what happened? What happened, you know? And he's like,
one other thing here, I'm just going to butt in on, because I've got to do. Sorry, got to jump in here. So we got Ayrtonus Somnus. Okay, and he's put, no, Neil, it's a terrible idea to pre-record matches. Based on what? How do you know? How do you know, really? I mean, if you pre-record the matches and they go out 3 or 4 hours later, why is it not terrible?
How about pre-record it and then do a pay-per-view?
Yeah, exactly. If you record them 2 or 3 hours early,
record it live and then put it up, and it's
just
there.
Not out of the memory, the wit of man to be filming a match, filling a card. Somebody else takes that card and uploads it, and you see it like 15 or 20 minutes after it's run. If you think that's such a terrible idea, I don't get where you're coming from. I got to disagree.
If you ran it as a premiere on YouTube, a pay-per-view premiere on YouTube, everyone gets the live chat feature and it feels live. They interact with each other as though it's live.
Correct.
As well.
And yet you completely eliminate all these streaming issues. You completely eliminate all of that. So, you know, sometimes
that might be the perfect formula. You get everyone in that room as part of the entry into that room. They sign saying they will not release anything.
Post it straight after it's over. So
correct.
Yeah, and
2 hours later.
literally 2 hours later, it's up and it's going out as though it is. It feels live. It looks and feels live. And it's done by. You could I mean, you could do it via your YouTube channel as a premiere, and
maybe that's
get the revenue from it. You'd get the pay-per-view from it directly, and there can't be any blame, or there's no lag, then nothing. Everyone gets it. It's fine.
I think it's a strong idea, and I think it's a really good possibility. And I'll tell you what it is, mate. If that's the difference between you getting super frustrated and walking away from the sport, not doing other events, it's not even something to be contested. It's a very easy decision to make. If you can't wait a couple of hours for that, you can grow a set. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's not.
Guys are waiting for months for Iron House.
It just doesn't matter that much.
Without knowing the matchups.
If you don't know the results of the matches, it really doesn't make that much difference.
Yeah.
It's not incredibly important. And people make out like they're, oh my God, my leg will fall off if it's not live. No, it won't. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. Just, you know.
Neil, I think it takes too long time to upload them. Don't you think that like for me, like 4 hours stream? I don't know. Whenever I ask them to
no,
send
you don't record. You wouldn't do it in one hit, mate. To be honest, you'd need more cards than that probably anyway. But you could put a couple of matches out, then somebody goes away, and while the other matches are running, they're uploading. Put 2 matches out, upload a couple.
Oh, okay.
2 matches out, upload a couple. So before the card is finished, people are already watching the pay-per-view as live on a premiere. That's what we're intending to do with Arm Wars. We're going to give that a crack. Who knows whether it works? It might not work, but it might. What I'm really enthusiastic is to make sure that people get the correct experience from it, and they get to see the matches in really good quality.
Yes.
It may not work, but we're going to give it a pop.
I will ask you something and then go to all of you. What do you guys think Prudnik versus Hutchings?
I think
Engin is back. He's like,
yeah, Prudnik has.
No, I'm not big. I'm just curious, you know. After that, I'm just talking like a fan, you know. Stop laughing.
I think Prudnik has an acid weapon against Todd, and it's the ability to finish extremely quickly. He can be blisteringly quick. We spoke about it when you came on the show the other day, and we both were on the same page as we often are. And Irakli isn't the guy that accelerates quickly through guys. He's not like
he doesn't have that risk to dominate Hutchings pro neither. Listen, I will tell you something. Unless you are Levan or something, you or just like really super heavyweight strong guy, you are not going to beat Hutchings without controlling his pronator and wrist at the same time. This guy is stronger than anyone in equal position. With anyone who weighs as much as he does, he's stronger than them. Like people like Rustam Babayev is just doing those kind of, because he has such a dominant hand and wrist. But I can tell you something, Hutchings pronator is also stronger than before, because this is a very strong human being. Whatever he's training is responding back, you know. Do you realize it? You know,
He's mega at the moment, mate. He's
this guy is just too strong, you know. You need to be like dominating him, both arm and head at the same time. I mean, I know how to beat him, but I'm not strong enough to beat him. If anyone wants to beat him, but does Prudnik has the tools? Yes. But is he strong enough? That's the question.
Listen, Engin, just before you go, if I can assist with you, you know, forget on camera stuff. If you want to call at any time, and I'll try and give you some ideas and advice on how you can make it better, sharper. More than happy to do that, mate. The few of us that are in arm wrestling and trying to pull these things off, we need to pool together to be able to do this stuff and make sure it does come off correctly. It's important for the growth of the sport, for the furtherment of the sport. So it's you know, let's do that. Keep calm on it, mate. I thought you had a great event. I thought the matches were ace. Take the positives from it.
I need to go sleep, and then whenever I wake up,
hey,
then
give
I
me
will
30
realize
seconds. 30 seconds, because we're on a fix. How about Paul, Linn, and Zurab?
I already asked Paul. He accepted.
Oh, yes.
It was before all this shit, you know. Paul accepted, but Paul said in August he has football season, and then he said that whenever football season starts, you know, and then how to say, he needs to focus on
he has obligations. He cannot.
Yeah, this is what he told me. Yeah.
Got one. I'm going to go back to all the super chats we've got, but Exton with a super chat.
Thank you,
Wars, but I disagree with you about the recording. I wouldn't buy a pay-per-view if it wasn't live. Live matters because you get to expit the same time. I'm assuming that would have been experience, and it's just corrected you, mate. The same time as the athletes experience those feelings. Okay.
I would
disagree, but anyway.
Yeah, I disagree.
I
we
disagree
know from
entirely.
Armor's experience that it still works.
Yeah, I completely disagree with you.
Okay, Engin, take care.
Yeah, I need to go, and I want to for anyone who bought the pay-per-view and had streaming problems. I apologize all of them with all my heart, except the ones who insulted. You understand? Anyone that with a positive criticism, like their criticism is over my head, everything is fine. I apologize them, and you all take care.
Dude, well done.
See you in August, Engin. See you in August.
Get the boat, Engin.
You know, maybe Engin just doesn't want to pull Ryan Ball, and this is why he's like, I have to cancel.
Right now, I've always figured myself as being, pretty intuitive. Can I just say, I don't know about you guys, I picked up that Engin wasn't overly pleased.
Yeah.
Nope.
Look, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to get used to criticism on the internet. And Engin's personality, as you know, Neil, he's a reactive, emotional guy. Wears his heart on his sleeve, and yeah. So I'm no stranger to criticism on the internet in the arm wrestling world. Might be surprised. I get a little bit of it, but it's taken years. It's taken years for me to go from reacting personally to going, okay, find a way to just not care, to genuinely not care. It takes a long time to genuinely not care. And then to even get it to a new place where you actually can see it and you can actually find the little bit of gold that is in that criticism. Because even though they're delivering it in a way that can come across as them being an asshole or whatever, there's actually some truth in there. There's some piece of gold in there that you can actually say, all right, take that and find that truth and use it to refine your product. And don't be personally offended by it. It takes a long time to get to that. And Engin's just in that early phase of learning to cope with that criticism. And I think what he's done is amazing. We all love it. We as you offered him there, we all work together to try to improve these things, and we'll get there. He won't go anywhere. Engin will go to sleep, have a good night, and he'll realize he's got a match with me in August.
I hope that's the case, and I believe it will be. I think he can be sometimes extremely emotional, and obviously that creates a dramatic situation in his mind, which he 100% buys into. His heart on his sleeve guy. He says what he means. But I hope he comes round, he takes the drama and the emotion out of it tomorrow when he thinks, you know what, actually, focus on this thing. It went bloody well. There was some great matches on there. So, set the date, Engin. Next one.
Ray, you should have given your Snickers ice cream to Engin. He was just a little hungry, I think.
He loves ice cream,
I mean, he used to be an ice cream man, didn't he? Semi-pro. Okay. So let's knock over some of these super chats that we haven't done. Henry Bowerslaw, mate, thank you very much. He's put the Derek match. It also shows that when you are pulling top 10 guys in the world, you just can't do it on 2.5 weeks notice. You need a good prep. PED peaking for such a match. Just the reality. It's a shame that last element's in there. Yeah, shame. But anyway, Derek's got a big future. He's young in the sport. The experience, the referees, the setting, everything, the travel, everything is a factor. And he was pulling an extremely strong man in Morozov.
Look, people got to remember that if you are like Derek Smith and you're going to pull at East versus West, there's a tremendous amount of pressure that comes with that, right? It's not just about everything has to be perfect. Your brain has to be perfect, right? You got to be prepared to go on that big stage. There's a million people that are going to be watching it. Difficult. It changes. Different than the county fair. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. So EHOC42, and he's put, Neil, we need Arm Wars Battleground with Canetti, Kadetcha, Hermes, and Chafee to sort out the world rankings. To be honest, mate, unfortunate truth is if we had a battleground, it wouldn't sort the rankings. You need one-on-one super match for the rankings. The battleground is a little bit like the Grand National horse race in that the guy that gets to the end is just the one that can finish. We see so many guys fall in the battleground. It's hard. It's there for that purpose. Battleground is exactly what it suggests. It's there to see who can survive the battle, who can make it to the finish line. If you want to see who is the best, the only way to do that, the truest form, is one-on-one supermatch competition. Multiple round supermatch competition decides who is the very best, but you'd have to do it probably over a period of time in sort of a league format where the guys progress to the next round. And even then, it's only 6-month period, whatever it is. Things change, people change, the day changes, and circumstances change. And it's the beauty of combat sport, you know. That's what happens. Jeff Nicholson with a super chat. Thanks, brother. He's put, okay, so ranking seems impossible in arm wrestling. We need a Premier League round robin. Say 10 guys per year, hit everyone in the 10, and most point wins. Yeah, what you honestly get with that, Jeff, you actually hit the nail on the head straight out of the park on your first comment. If you're looking for a moment in time, you can achieve that, but you can't get something in any combat sport which is completely indicative and runs forward. You just can't. Things change. Circumstances change. That's the reality of the sport we're in. It's very, very different. It's the rankings are great, but they're also they're a blessing and they're a curse. They're great for fan interest, but it's a little bit like the skit that Uncle John and Jake do, where, you know, the guy comes on and says the rankings are still shit. Well, in some respects, you know, depending on who you are, yeah, they are. Some guys will endorse them 100%. Some guys really won't. It's a difficult one. So Exia Novo, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's back in with one. He's put, loved East versus West. Also, I really like Ray and Derek from a podcast perspective. But to be honest, I prefer to see Bowen and Neil commentating. Yeah, I mean, again, mate, just personal preference. I didn't actually catch Ray and Derek's commentary on there apart from the Brezink match. And what I liked about that was you were both super enthusiastic. You could tell that you were fans enjoying the match, which is always nice, you know. So... and that was a great match. It was nice to see that match, and nice to see a little bit of emotion from John as well, I felt.
Oh, made him angry. You don't want to.
Was he legit pissed?
Oh, he was so pissed. It was awesome.
You could see he was really upset, wasn't he? You know,
he was sitting down after the event, and everyone's doing after pulling, and I said with him, I'm like, is everyone scared to pull you? And he's like, I think I'm done, you know. I'm like, what do you?
What you mean with arm wrestling?
This. He's like, I'm like, I guess I got too frustrated, and then he calmed down a little bit. He was just a little bit too emotional in that moment, but
yeah, I mean that'll be.
I think
great shame.
I think John wants a challenge, but he doesn't want a weird one. Weird, you know, he lost 2 rounds, but they were kind of weird losses. It wasn't that someone actually got where John is strong and beat him. You know, Zurab kind of was a little better at pinning on that point, you know, however you want to call it. I think John wants that big challenge. I think John wants that big match where, you know, where he has won everything except Devon. You know, and that's, you know, understandable.
Yeah.
Weird. 7, 10, 20 super matches. I don't know. You know, how long can you go?
How long does he want to go is the question, isn't it?
That is. I think he needs a challenge. That challenge name is Todd Hutchings.
It's got to I mean, it's going to happen.
Should happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's one that's going to happen in the States, if I'm honest.
John's slated to pull what, Irakli at East vs West 4?
Yeah, that's the current.
Yeah, but you know,
But then I know from Engin's previous conversations, if that was to occur, then the winner where Hutchings and Prudnik are pulling, it's anticipated that John pulls the winner of that. And Engin had previously expressed that he wanted to award some kind of title belt or something like that to that person. Which would be amazing.
The title belt sort of waters it down for me in there. I think it potentially restricts you and it becomes a governance for the matches. When sometimes just like, hey, what if this guy pulled that guy? It can be quite cool. At least if the majority of the card is made up of that, you get some really interesting results. I hope that we do start. I mean, the depth of the card, when you think about the depth of talent and the depth of the card yesterday, it was excellent. Really, really, really good. You know, so
I wanted to
I loved Angry John. I loved Angry John. I hope we see him more. That intensity when he fires up and you could just see him. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, it was cool as balls. It's nice when you see that. So, Silky Wilkie with a super chat. Thanks, mate. He's put, you can apply side pressure directly, axially. I assume that one could change the angle throughout the movement, like a side pressure curve, forward to backwards. Theoretically, you could. Forward to backwards is extremely difficult because you're not pushing against a static opponent. The thing is moving and pushing you in the opposite direction. So not easy to transition in direct side. You can go through a motion to achieve both of those things, but very, very hard to do one directly to the other. Extremely dangerous, extremely risky. And you saw the application of that yesterday in the Irakli and Todd match. It doesn't work. To move directly into that position when you've got a very strong opponent on the other side, you're risking serious problems, serious injuries, and most people need a break point there. The application of strength in arm wrestling comes when a man's balanced. In any form of lifting, if you're not balanced, you can't apply the power. You can't, even in throwing punches. If you're off balance when you throw it, it doesn't work. You got to some of the best fighters in the world, they work off balance. They work off the ability to plant and throw. And if they can do that, they can really rev up some serious power. What we're dealing with in arm wrestling, that fluidity is just the same. It's the same principles. If you train fight sports and you train arm wrestling, a lot of the principles carry directly over. Let's just knock a couple more of these over because we talked a lot and didn't pay any attention to them. And they've been racking up. EHOP42. Oh, sorry, I did get that one, didn't I? Saw that the world rankings comment. So let's have a look. Yeah, I felt sorry for, to be honest, there for Engin, because when he came in, you could see that he was really upset and really emotional about it, and it's a shame because he's going to be tired out as well. Carlos Hakim with a super chat. But I love East versus West 3. Coach Ray and Yanis next time. Love you all. Thanks, mate. Thank you for your super chat. Where was Yanis?
He was in Germany.
Okay. Pull in or just on?
Doing seminar.
Okay. Let's have a look. Carlos Hakim again with another super chat. We love Engin, the best arm wrestling events of all time. Good stuff, mate. Big Grove Goats. Engin doesn't have to justify anything. I hate when people bitch about things and have never tried to run anything in their life. I hope he's not done. Yeah, I don't think he will be, mate. I think he'll calm down and hopefully he wakes up on Monday morning and thinks, you know what, let's put another date in, let's go again. Camille Klipala. He's put, Engin, you're a legend and I hope you keep doing it. Don't worry, Engin will watch the rest of this show tomorrow so that he will see that. Silky Wilkie, another super chat. Please don't discontinue East versus West, Engin. A lot of love for you, Engin Terzi, when you do watch this. Big Grove Goats. He's put, I work in tech and sometimes the issue is with your own internet service provider. That's technology, Engin. Sometimes it happens. It's not your fault. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, there's definitely a bit of that from my end because I've been on the fix and got kicked off of my own goddamn show. So 100% that can happen. No doubt about it. Oh, Ryan, you super chatted. He's put, you're not allowed to stop now. Yeah, I don't think he will. Juji Mugu, give Engin the truth. The stream was crap until they reset the Gennady Chafee match. Bowen's live stream audience was complaining. There is the proof. So you were getting a lot of stick on the show, were you, Ryan?
Oh, well, look, everyone on the show was complaining when it got to the Matt Mars Prudnik moment. That was unanimous. Then that's when they were aware of it. There were a few spot fires. Like we had 2,700 people in that chat. So there's always going to be someone in there saying, "Hey, I can't get it working." There's always going to be someone because their own internet, whatever, their app's not working. So if you're looking for evidence like that, you'll find it in that chat. But for the most part, as far as I'm aware, it was only that during that Prudnik Matt Mask phase that it really became a major problem. But they were onto it. So
Karaoke Vic's coming with a super chat. But holy cow, I didn't mean to start all of this discussion. I just wanted to hear your opinion. Didn't mean any disrespect to Engin. Oh, don't worry, mate. He's tired and yeah, he's going to be feeling it a little bit, but he'll come around. He will definitely come around. Penguin Turdsy with the super chats, but I am the real Engin. Nice, mate. Silky Wilkie. I'm actually having a boxing match next Saturday. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll be balanced, like you said, with my 150-pound frame. Very best of luck in that, mate. Hope the fight goes well. Couple more to come in. Oh, my Jesus God. Mr. Perkley 80 with an absolutely massive super chat. Mate, thank you so much. It's huge. Marcus Thompson Styley, Mr. Perkley 80, another of our legends, and that's a huge super chat. He's put shit the bed just to wake up early enough to catch the end of the fix. Have a good week, all, mate. Yeah, good job. You got it. He's from Australia, isn't he, right? Mr. Perkley 80.
Yeah, he's an Aussie. If he's just woken up, he's on the East Coast with me. He's a mid-morning riser, but if he's on a West Coast, then it's very early over there in Perth. So yeah.
Is he one of the Brisbane 8 by any chance?
Well, he's got Danny Tesh as his profile pic. It might be Danny. It might be Danny.
I hope it's Danny Tesh.
Imagine if all this time
love that.
Mr. Perkley is Danny. It wouldn't surprise me. He's the king. He's the king of Cyprus.
It'd be the coolest thing in the world if Mr. Perkley.
It would be so cool if it was
I
Danny.
don't think it's Danny, though. I think I know who he is.
It could be, but it could be. It's Aussie dollars.
Mr. Perkley is ace. Like Marcus, he's one of the guys that props up channels in the sport. Absolute leg end. Top man. Big Grove Goats with a super chat. But can you talk about how nice of a young man Tobias is? I think Tobias did himself a lot of favors in a lot of areas yesterday. Don't worry, Darko. I will go back to those super chats. Thanks for the heads up, mate. I have missed a couple, but I've got them recorded, so I'm going to go back to those in a minute. I just was knocking over ones that popped up, but appreciate the heads up, brother. Yeah, Tobias yesterday really gave himself a big lift in PR, didn't he? He really did. Yeah. No doubt about it. I mean, I've got to see the Marcio match. I haven't seen that. But the Prudnik match, one of the matches that I saw was a pin there where he was aggressively diving on Evgeny's arm on the left. Just maybe in round 2 or 3, and he was smashing into him. And Evgeny was really trying to pull him up, trying to pull him up off the base. Couldn't do it, and he ended up, it looked like a painful loss, actually. Damaging loss. So
what I thought he did incredibly well was, as you said before, Neil, balance. He did allow Prudnik to get out of the firing line. Prudnik would have loved to have got the straps, but he couldn't because of the perfect balance that Tobias was just keeping there. He was not letting anything get out of his control. So I thought he achieved that very well. That was the thing that impressed me most, was that he was able to walk that tightrope that kept Evgeny in the problematic position.
Yeah, he's a really. What's good about Tobias is that he's so young and he's going to get so much better. He's not been pulling for a long period of time. You imagine that guy in a few years, he's just going to be a complete monster. I think he's only early to mid-20s. So,
hey guys, I'm dying slowly.
You're going to jump off. Okay, mate. What time is it? We won't be on for much longer anyway. But Ray, thanks for tuning in, mate. And good job at the weekend. Absolutely spot on.
Hey.
All right.
Catch you soon.
Be a man pulling the hook, okay?
Okay, let's knock some more of these over. Scott thank you, mate. He's put, do it, Engin. He will. He'll get the bolt. It will happen again. Franco Rojas. Great name. Morozov, X2 plus Arif plus Prudnik plus Rivas plus Gennady equals 6 idiots. And then he's birding them all off. Not an happy man.
Okay.
Yeah, not an happy man at all there. Moving into astrology. Engin, the vast majority of the fans appreciate what you've done for the sport with this event. Don't just listen to the most bitter voices.
I really think you hit something on the head when we mentioned to Engin the Premier option. I think Engin would serve him really well to have Core Sports film it all for him as they do right now, and then just hand him a file a couple hours later, release it as a premiere. I think that would serve him wonderfully well. And I disagree with the people who say they wouldn't pay-per-view that. I call you bullshit. I call it because you wouldn't get to see that that premiere would not be turned public until 2 weeks later, whatever. So if you wanted to join in on the party of talking about everything, you would. And I don't think you have the discipline to wait 2 weeks and ignore all of that fun that's going on.
And what we're talking about there with the premiere option is not showing it weeks later or months later, it's showing it hours later. If you've got a situation hours later that you're tuning in, you'll get the feelings that you're talking about there. You're not going to feel the same. If you think you're going to get the same experience as the arm wrestler gets, you're not. You're not going to do that if you're in the venue. You're not going to do that if you're the referee of the match. You're just not. Unless you're in that match, you're only getting the emotions if you're the arm wrestler themselves. That's it. Simple as that. Don't kid yourself on that one, guys. If that ain't going to happen. Not a cat in hell's chance. But if you've got a situation where it's airing very, very shortly after the match has been pulled, hours after, I don't think there's going to be any real impact on the experience for people there. In fact, I know how I'd stand on that. I'd much rather see the matches, if it's a little bit out of real time, see the matches in quality than sit there and have the stream go down on me halfway through and then kick back in when the bloody thing's finished. And then you do know the result and you didn't see the match, and that's frigging frustrating. There's no doubt about it. So anyway, opinions will always vary, as they do. And until we try that and we see how it runs, we won't really know. But it's coming. Darko with a super chat. He's put, Engin, have some of the next East versus West events in North America. MMT suggested this could be a good way to go in the future. I don't think he's going to do that, brother, because I think most of the sort of finance base for the event is based in Turkey. And obviously, just for Engin himself, it's a lot more aggravation to do that. So I think we'll probably find that it's going to remain based over there. Kari Lepacorpi. Not sure what the answer is to the stream problem. I think sending the stream to web ain't the problem, but maybe the so-called delivery to all who's trying to watch from a broadcaster service is. Possibly, mate. But as I say, that Premier thing may eliminate all of those issues and we can get around it. Cloaks93, thanks for your super chat. Arif versus Corey West. Who you guys got? Well, Corey West has had an outstanding weekend and continues to impress.
Did you guys see that match yet?
No.
I haven't seen the match. I haven't seen it, but I heard the result.
It's one of those things, isn't it? When it got swept under the carpet because it was such a massive show with the East versus West, nobody's really paid attention to it. But maybe we let people see it in case they haven't. In case all the attention went on East versus West. Exudinovo, thanks for your super chat.
But as for the match with Arif, I think yes. I love it. I do think Corey needs to now take that, or he doesn't need to, but he's ready to take that international jump and really go for something. And I think that's a great match in terms of balance and level.
Wasn't Engin saying that Arif's left is scrap? Or are you talking right?
I'm talking right.
Talking right, okay. Yeah, hopefully Corey's right arm's good to go. Exudinovo, thanks, brother. He's put, Arm Wars is amazing. I do expect their feelings when watching, but on a deeper philosophical level, there's something about experiencing it live. Some kind of hive mind is spiritual. Love everything you guys do. Fair enough, mate. Each to their own. I think you might be surprised, though, if you give it a shot. I think you can probably get more of what you're looking for from that Premier experience if it's close. Logan Nyquist, he's put, good word, Ryan, on criticism. Can you beat Engin?
Oh, that's a big question, isn't it? Look, every time I step to the table, I've dreamt the path that can lead to victory. I see in my mind the shape against and a corridor that, look, if I can get it to where I'm dreaming it, then yeah, I can. I believe I'm strong enough if it gets to where I need it to be. I respect Engin immensely as an arm wrestler. The man, I think, has probably had more ready goes than anyone on earth. That's just my intuition. I could be wrong, but the man has been obsessed with arm wrestling for such a long time. I'm not going to surprise him in any way. He's going to have seen it all before. It's just going to be, can I get into the lane and am I strong enough? And look, if I didn't believe I could do it, I wouldn't be an arm wrestler. So, yeah.
And is the date. Sorry, John, you go, brother.
No, go ahead. What is the date on that?
Yeah, that's where I was going.
August 6th, I think, is the date that's been penciled in for East vs West 4. So yeah.
And then that's Istanbul, isn't it? Again.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys having big matches from Australia, I will be hopefully gripping up with Australia's best this next weekend in
Lachlan.
Tulsa.
Whoa!
So Lachlan,
Yeah.
So Lachlan's going against Austin Jaggers on the right hand and Pavlo Derbeyev on the left.
Yep.
I'm hoping that Lachlan is going to pull supers because I'm going to do the 8 classes, I think, just so I can get a chance to maybe touch hands.
Did Pavlo get injured, righty, with John?
I don't know.
I think the shine was taken off him. There's not a major injury because Lachlan and Pavlo were initially going to pull right and left. Pavlo shelved himself, and Austin has stepped in. But we'll see. I think Pavlo. I don't think it's a major injury. I think there's still enough there that he could pull, but I think he just wanted to make sure he was perfect or something like that. But, yeah.
I know John told me on the phone only a couple of days ago. He gave me a call and we were just chatting, just talking rubbish as you do. And he was saying that he jacked himself up with Pavlo. He said he was really, really strong. Said he was surprised. He thought that'd be an easier match than it was, and it was he said Pavlo's really strong. So yeah, I hope Pavlo is okay. I hope he's fit, hasn't done any damage. I was looking. That's a match I like a lot, Pavlo and Lackey. So that'd be great. Darko with the super chat. He's put involving more people in the organisation will reduce pressure and will improve the event. Strength in numbers. I believe so, mate. Thanks for your super chat. Really appreciate it. And that I could not agree more. And Engin does take a lot on his shoulders and obviously wears it there. I don't know what the situation is on the organisation side of things with the core sports guys, but I'm pretty sure they'll be gutted that there were some issues with it, trying the best to do a good job. And I'm sure it'll get right and in the future. EHOP42, would it ever be possible to run an arm wrestling event like a tennis tournament? A super match every couple of days over the course of 2 weeks? I suppose it depends on the type of matches that were pulled. I mean, some guys have the ability to pull very, very frequently. Great example of that would be Devon Larratt, who punishes his arm. But if you've got a situation which is the type of situation we're looking for, where the guys are being screaming wars, I don't think it would. I think you need longer. I think you would get a cumulative issue if you were pulling very, very red line, very testing matches where you go into your elastic limits and you were pulling them very frequently. I know I couldn't do it, for most of my career, very early on maybe, but that may be why I got injured, because I was pulling too often and not giving yourself a chance to heal. You pull frequently, don't you, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I love that Devon Larratt, pull as often as you can approach. I would be. I mean, it'd suit me a tournament like that because of that familiarity with that style. I'm a better super match puller than I am a tournament puller, so that'd suit me well. I love it, but for me, I think about the resources required to do that. To have a whole bunch of people for a week in an area, it's got a big footprint on it in terms of cost for athletes and everyone. So that's where I see the biggest problem.
So Alan Cadrick, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put nice job for commenting for Ray and Derek. And sorry, Neil and Ray, but I think nothing changes live events. A few stream mistakes should not change that. Fair enough, mate. Opinions vary. That's fair enough. Everybody's got their own view of it. William Astrom with a super chat. Thanks for that, mate. He's put, would love to see Tobias versus Kadetcha left hand. Yeah. I'd love to see Corey West versus Kadetcha left hand. That's what I'd love to see. I think Corey West and Alex Kadetcha left. Both guys had a great day against Ryan Espy, and Ryan is no bum on that left. I think Corey West left right now looks extremely strong. You never know. Could happen. Could happen. Exia De Novo, great job commentating, Ray. A lot of love coming in for Roly. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are caught up on Super Chats. Thank God. Nice. Favorite match of the weekend then, Ryan, if you got all the stream?
I did get it all. Let me quick look at it. Favorite match for me. look, the one I was anticipating was Todd Hutchings and Irakli most. I was very happy with what I saw there. Just Todd, the roll on of Todd just continues. Very, very happy with that. And now the anticipation for can Todd crack Prudnik is for me massive. Todd himself in the press conference afterwards gave indications that he wants to be seen as the underdog in this one, and I think he will be. So he was very quick to say, "Oh, Prudnik's another level. Trust me, Prudnik's another level." But I can't wait to see that. So I really enjoyed the continued role of Todd Hutchings in terms of just the actual battles that happened. I got to say, Paul Linn, David Samasher, it was awesome. Loved it. And he's a fixed boy, so it was awesome to see him do what he did, make his debut in that international scene and that presence. He adjusted when he needed to. He looked strong. He was awesome. Yeah.
I hope Paul appreciates the magnitude of that win as well. It's a great win. Samushia's a frigging beast. So that's a great. Paul's really solid. Really solid. I mean, he's had a fabulous start to this year. Win over Ron, impressive as hell. Win over Samushia, impressive as hell. I've got to see the match, but it sounds like it was super dramatic as well. So,
oh yeah, it was back and forth. It was awesome.
Yeah. I was up out of my chair, hip thrusting for most of the match. I was so excited. It was definitely my favorite match as well. I think my favorite puller at the event was probably Sprong. I was just so impressed with his intensity, and I kept thinking, well, he can't do that every single match. He can't go that crazy every single match. And he did.
Yeah.
Every single match.
Yeah, he's really, really intense, really exciting arm wrestler, Tobias. And the Swedes have said he's, one of the best kept secrets. The guy's a beast. Very, very strong guy, on the rise, only going to get better. Who knows where the ceiling is for that lad? And he's got more to his game. I mean, we've seen a lot of his top rolling, but he's pretty complete arm wrestler. Room to grow. He really has. We'll see him do the owl soon if he carries on. Serious stuff. So, Mayhem arm wrestling with a super chat. I think after Irakli versus Todd, I think Irakli versus ATTIRE has to happen. ATTIRE. Who's that?
ATTIRE?
He must mean that's okay. That is spelled ATTIRE. Okay.
Lachlan in a bunch of matches is super interesting now. Now that we have more of an indication of where his levels are at relative to the international scene. So, and the good news is we're going to see it. Lachlan's heading to the USA this weekend. We're going to see more data there. Lachlan's on East vs West 4 against Sandra Sadis, and I know Lachlan is very much. Yeah, and he's very much intent on going international at least 2 more times this year. So we will get our fix of Lachlan updates in 2022.
Got to say, I think that Lachlan's completely missed out. Should have done that match on Arm Wars without question. Definitely should.
Which one? What's the offer?
Should have pulled Sandra Stedis in Arm Wars. End of. Should have done it. Bum move.
I think East vs West must have offered it to him first. I don't know.
Yeah, should have pulled it in Arm Wars. Just should have done. Makes all the sense in the world. Particularly as Sandris has been starring in a lot of the matches. I mean, what the? It would have been a great launch platform for him. But anyway, here's what it is. I think we're totally caught up, and we are 5 minutes past 11. We'll probably be on here for no more than 5 minutes, guys. So get them in now. Went a little bit nuts tonight. Got a couple of little.
We can't end Neil without talking about Michael Todd, Rivas, and Michael Todd's ranking.
Yeah. Okay, you can take that on, mate, because you've just obviously had. I will come in on that, but you go because I know you've got into it a little bit with Mike.
Yeah. I haven't seen Mike's reaction directly, but Mike lost to Rivas. To me, I have Mike outside the top 10 ranks now. After that loss, I mean, he's somewhere in that 10 through 20 bracket. It could be anywhere in that zone. At the end of the day, I feel like Michael has just lost his offense. It's just seemingly gone against the opponents that in that top 10 of the world. He doesn't have an offense. When we saw him sit at center table, a lot of people interpreted that as he was utterly dominating his opponent. I saw it differently. I saw that he wasn't able to attack without losing pronation. And so he He knew that in his own hands, so he stayed there until Rivas gassed, because he was able to. Rivas was in the same situation. He couldn't go without losing his pronation, nor could Michael. So they stayed, and Michael had better endurance in that position. Everywhere else, I saw Michael with no ability to go on the offense, and where once upon a time he was able to rise and roll constantly in regrips, and there was always the threat that he was going to take back center. That threat of taking back center is non-existent at this level. And why? It's a good question. Some people say nerve damage, but Michael doesn't say nerve damage anymore. I think he feels that's back. Michael feels he's strong, so it can't be that. My guess, and I'd love to pick Michael's brain on this, is that Michael's elbow and the range of motion that he has actually closed up too far, that he can no longer access the rising pressure that he used to. When he used to drop and roll and his arm was a bit open, he was able to get great height. Now, with his arms so tightly restricted, we see him standing up above the table. He doesn't drop like he used to. And I think the reason is because if he goes to drop with this tighter angle in his arm, his pronator is subsequently defeated earlier than it used to be. I think that could be a reason why we've seen this bizarre drop in Michael's level, despite him being consistent and his desire still being there. I don't know, but either way, I have Michael outside the top 10 now.
So just to be clear on both your guys' opinions, because I know this will come up in the chat, in every chat, how much of a factor is it that this losing streak has kind of started post WAL pads for Michael?
I don't think as significant as people maybe touching that, because Mike's success was away from WAL as well, and he was just as dangerous. We've seen him pulling PAL super effectively, in Arm Wars super effectively, in other events super effectively over a number of years, particularly in PAL where he'd had some very impressive wins. But I do think that Michael has lost his way a little bit in terms of the approach to arm wrestling. I also think that if you look at the span of time that's passed in between those matches, it's not that significant. And when you've deviated from a technique and a style, and your confidence is going to be impacted as well. And also, Michael is insanely busy. The guy, when you look at his travel schedule, it's off the scale. The guy's everywhere and anywhere. He's chasing the growth of his YouTube channel and with massive success. But it's hard to do that and to give the focus. Michael gained a great deal of furtherment in the sport of arm wrestling by being super active and pulling very high level opponents in that same way. And so he was sort of battle tested and battle scarred, but he also gained a great deal from it, you know. He really got forged in fire. And he hasn't been pulling that style as often. He'd moved away from it. And I think there was very clear evidence again yesterday. And I'd like to speak to Mike as well to get his opinions on it. But if he watches that back, there was very clear evidence again there that Mike wasn't pulling the same style. If you overlaid his matches previously when he was pulling the Kings at his sharpest with yesterday against stronger opponents as well, not taken away from Rivas. Yeah, he's pulled much stronger opponents, with more complexity in the game, and beat them. Let's not take away the fact that just because Rivas wasn't a prominent name, that the guy is no bum. He's extremely solid, brilliant arm wrestler. But I do think that Mike's a little bit at the moment caught between two styles, and it will take a time. We've got to be fair to transition back when you've got out of pulling a certain way. It's not that easy. It really isn't. It takes time. It takes endeavor, and also it takes extreme focus. And Mike isn't as focused on, and isn't able to. It's not that he's not committed to doing that, but the guy's running around like a blue-ass fly. It's very difficult to make up that kind of difference and reinvent yourself continuously all the time when you're probably more tired than you think. And for me, I don't think he should overthink it. I don't think it needs to be overthought. I think the guy pulled a very strong lad after traveling overseas, and he came up short. And who the hell hasn't done that? You know,
I think Rivas is always going to be a difficult match for him because Rivas is so tall. And we know historically tall guys are the best at countering Michael. So it was, I thought straight away, oh no, I picked Rivas right off the bat because of his height. And it proved to be difficult. It did. With Michael's pronation and rise being under question, if Michael was to get a really solid win, I imagine it would be someone that would be shorter than him that he'd do it against. So.
I mean, I'm going to withhold judgment a little bit till I speak to Mike. I'm sure he'll assess this very honestly, as he usually does. I don't know whether he was upset by how things went down or not. I thought Rivas deserved the win. I thought he pulled very, very well. I thought his timing was excellent. He was very versatile. Mike didn't do a lot wrong. His timing was maybe not as sharp as it's been in the past. But at the end of the day, everybody has days like that. I think, my honest opinion, Mike may tell you otherwise. I haven't spoke to Mike or heard anything that Mike said. I would be very, very surprised. I'd be very disappointed and very surprised if Mike decides to slow things down, move away from the top tier. I think Mike's just as committed. He's taken losses before, usually takes them on the chin and bounces back. And I hope he does in this case. I hope he just swallows it up, rolls with the punch and comes back and improves his game again. I think he can. The ranking thing to me, I think it matters, if I'm honest. It makes a great deal of difference. I always pay lip service to it anyway. That's just me, but, you know. Cameron Beckford with a super chat. But evening, gents. Just want your views on Todd versus Irakli with relation to Devon and Levan. If Todd just smashed the guy who holds Levan in training and makes him redline, then how strong is Devon, who held Todd 2 weeks ago? Okay, my view on that, Cameron, would be that he does not hold Levan when Levan's anywhere near fit. I think what you see in there probably, brother, is that Levan has worn himself down to a situation where Irakli is then able to arm wrestle, and the way he's gripping and the way he's attacking is allowing him to do that. He's feeding rope. That's all that is, mate, really. I think if Levan went in there and prepped for a match against Irakli, he would absolutely decimate him with incredible ease. And I think Irakli would be the first guy to admit that and to tell you that. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to build anything on
counterpoint.
Here we go.
This means one thing and one thing only, and that is that Levan Saakashvili literally has no chance against Devon Larratt. It is clear the way that Todd Hutchings played with Irakli and Devon played with Todd Hutchings in a picture that we saw on the internet one time. It is very clear to me that you better put your money on Devon.
Yeah, that should light it up, John. Expect some. Yeah, you're going to be as popular as Ryan to keep this up. EHawk42. Thanks for your super chat, mates. But Crazy George has an even tighter angle and has no problem keeping pronation. In my opinion, it's mental due to being on social media and the elites finally figuring out how to beat the King's move. Yeah, I don't necessarily buy into the last element of that at all.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think they've always known how to beat the King's move in the way that we saw yesterday. I think Mike's not pulling it as well and as tight and as concisely as he did previously. That's just my opinion on it. I'm sure a lot of takes on that one. Let's wait for Mike's and see what he comes back with. I'll probably buzz him next couple of days and catch up with him. But who knows? Supposition. We will see. I don't think Michael Todd will be done. I think he'll be back for more. So we should probably... Anybody else got any points that we need to cover off tonight? Guys, or that you want to cover off tonight? I know this back and back.
One thing I want to say to the 912 people in here, because
how many?
906 people in here right now. Off
Jesus
the charts.
Christ. Thank you guys in the chat. What the fluff?
I released something foolishly that got swallowed up by East versus West, because East versus West was so big. But Arm Wars Savage Search is on. The Savage Search is here.
Go.
If you guys want to go and have a shot at being in Arm Wars, head on over there. Maybe there's still a moderator in the chat. Put the link up there. But this is something that I'll be working on with Aussie Arm Wrestler, with Neil, with James Statham. We're literally giving you the shot at showing up to Arm Wars. So if that's what you're interested in, that's going to be what you're going to want to do.
Get over there. Get following, guys. Get your stuff submitted. Get you a shot in Arm Wars. Cannot wait. Should be awesome. Now, a lot going on in the sport of arm wrestling right now. Massive amount. Hard to keep track of. If you want to keep track of it, there's one place that can assist you. Get over there, get registered to armwrestlingforums.com. These guys will then start sending you a newsletter. It will keep you in the loop of what is going on, the big talking points, what you need to know, what you don't need to know. Keep your finger on the pulse with armwrestlingforums.com, ladies and gents. Do it. Do it now. And remember, Western Survivor beef jerky, ladies and gents, the greatest beef jerky in the world. One more time, Adam Vandal. You're a warrior, brother. Hope that your arm heals up stronger and better than it's ever been. We'll see you on the table again soon. Remember, guys, if you're not subscribed to Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show, get over there, do that right now. Show this man some love. Same with Ryan Blue Bowen. Ryan's killing it right now on social media. If you want to get some stuff from his channel, also remember handles, straps, attire, you name it. Get over there and you get 15% off with the code Supernatural. So get over there, guys. Check it out. Oh, Corey Bresnan flying in. Corey Bresnan versus Beer Man at Arm Wars. He's been chasing that match for a long time. Tim's boy, Corey. Hope you're well, mate. Remember, if you're not subscribed here on Supernatural Strength, please do so. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, get over, check out Arm Wars. The new Arm Wars channel is where it is at. We're going to be posting the next film, premiering it on Friday night. Coach Ray in action against Patrick Berg of Sweden. Guys, thank you, everybody, for your attention. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And until we see you next time, take it easy, peeps.